Well done.
Gordon is complete.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'll get the training up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Right, go for the testimonies and I'll look for the training. Bianca.
Are we doing it now?
Yes, afraid so.
Okay. Right. Hi, I'm Bianca. I joined Clean Easy back in December, mainly because Ush started in September and she thought I needed something to do. I focus mainly on online while she does catalogues and recruiting. Our highest check so far was
It's muted.
Hello?
Bianca's been muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ush did that. Sorry.
What was your highest check, sorry?
Our highest check was £564 back in November. It went downhill from there due to personal circumstances. However, we've come back fighting at our 10%, and it looks like so.
Well, we missed the last of it, Bianca. I'm not sure why.
Ush, muted me.
Yeah, it was after.
I remembered nobody else had muted, so I muted.
I was gradually trying to mute everyone. Well done, Bianca.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mary, you're quite right. I've just muted everyone because there was a lot of interference. Okay, Mary, you're next. Go for it.
Cheers, Jane. Hi, I'm Mary. I started back last September. I was unemployed and needed something to do. I bought off somebody and asked where they were doing, what they were doing, and they told me it was Clean Easy. So I emailed the company direct and then got in touch with Lynn. Lynn tried to convince me. I was really skeptical and said, no, I don't know about this, but hey, I've done it. My highest check is £385.51, up and down, but hey, that's fine, it goes like that. I'm now blanket drop-in an area I've never done before, which is okay. Go back on Saturday, pick up some stragglers, and got 3 people in my team. Hoping to build more by next weekend, we shall see. I want 2 by next weekend. I'm bumming for that one. And fingers crossed. Oh.
Well done, Mary. Well done.
And of course, from my business, I've got my computer and Marmaduke, my car.
Oh, yes.
Yes, oh yes, he's there. And today I've just been and treated myself to a new coat.
Well done, Mary. Excellent. That's great. Good. Right, Heather, your turn. No, never mind turning away. Just.
No, sorry. I started barking as you unmuted me.
Are you barking?
I joined last March, so I've been in 16, 17 months. I had a full-time job, which I did love, but I've had arthritis in my feet and my hands, so I couldn't stand all day. I did a bit of homework and spoke to Lynn and nagged her for about a week with lots and lots of questions. Apparently I'm still nagging her. But I finally joined March 2016 at the end of the month when I gave it to Francis as a birthday present. He wanted to know what he was getting out of it. And I said, a happy wife. And if I qualified, or when I qualify for trips and things like that and cars, he could come with me. It was a good deal. I thought so anyway. So he's got a happy wife. About 3 months after I started, I gave up work completely to concentrate full-time on this and give me full flexibility to what I needed to do. I went 10% in my first month full month with 398. My highest check last year was 1,132. And yes, I am a very happy person. He's got a very happy wife with that one. We've got a small team. We're not rushing anything, but we had the flexibility November, December to be at home for a month with my children when they came home from Australia, for my daughter's wedding to be whenever they were wanting me. We went down a little bit then after that because of taking that time off, but we now back up again from just January onwards. We're back up to 21% again. We had our best month in period 7 with another check of 1,069, but more for me was the fact that I had 2 13% and a 10% in the team. That meant more to me than the actual check did. So,
excellent. Well done, Heather. Good. Well, now all I have to do is try and get the training up, which it didn't seem to want to, but we'll have another go at it. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, shit. Sorry. It doesn't seem to want me to flip slideshow. There it is. I just didn't know where it was going. Can everyone see? Can anyone hear?
We can hear you, but we
You're
can't.
fine, but we're still seeing you.
Yeah, I seem to have disappeared, don't I?
No, you're still there, but your training isn't.
Sorry?
You're still, we can still see you, but we can't see your training.
Oh, can you not? Oh, share
No,
screen.
we can still see you.
Yes. Share screen. There we go. See, I knew there was something I'd forgotten to do. Right. Slideshow. From the beginning. Now it doesn't want to do that for me. There it is. I knew there was something. I'm really sorry, folks. However, thank you very much for the testimonials. I know it's difficult sometimes at first, but it does get easier, so don't worry about that. We'll have another 3 next week, and it'll be different people. Whoopie-doo. So
you mean Ursula can do one next week and
that's right.
yeah, I can mute her.
Yes, exactly. I think that's a great idea.
And I used to wonder why they were never sitting together when they were on those calls. There's your training now, Jane.
Have you got it? Everybody see it now? Okie doke. So tonight we're going to cover attitude, belief and personal development. Really important. Everything's important. And can I just quickly reiterate, you know, we've got a great system. We really do have a great system. Sometimes when you're familiarity does breed contempt. And we do tend as individuals to look around for other areas, look for different things to do and all that sort of thing. Can we stick to our system? Yes, tweak it to sort yourselves. I noticed Bianca and Ursula are really laughing at this, and I'm sure they'll tell me why they're laughing like this. But, you know, see, at the moment, before I get, you won't tell me, oh, okay. But I'm sure if we can just stick to the system, because you know something, it was done because of all our mistakes. It's been tweaked so often because we've made all the mistakes. We've fallen into all those holes several times. So here you are. Here's some of the things that we've faced recently though. And you can call them whichever name you wish. They can be challenges, problems, difficulties, whatever. And there have been a lot recently, far more than in previous years. Deliveries, accounts, packing errors, and customers, all of which gives us a bit of stress from time to time. But can I say to you, don't struggle on your own and don't wait until you are pulling your hair out, please, because it's much easier for us to be able to help you if we can do it before you're at the stage that you really don't want to hear or speak to anyone. The best person to speak to you is your gold or your experienced person that you're working with. Go to someone who's working the business. That's really important. And we'll do all we can to help. It's easier for us going to service centre or some of the names that we know at service centre with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inquiries than 6 people going with 1 inquiry. But we can help ourselves. We can, and we'll give you the tools to help yourself, but it's just if you're not getting to where you want to be and as quickly as you want it, remember and come to us. But to learn those tools, really, this is where you start. Your attitude, your belief, and your personal development, all of them lead you to where you need to be. So what do you see written here? It does vary. Opportunity is now here. Opportunity is nowhere. Now, this, see when you read this, you could read this just now, and half an hour later, you could read the same sentence and you could read it quite differently. We could go from one to the other in the blink of an eye, unfortunately, but that's called human beings and human nature. But how do we stop it? Bouncing around, because bouncing around is not good for us. It's not good for our impact in the business. And what happens if you're at the bottom end of that seesaw when a team member phones you? That's really not where you want to be either. But what comes first between your attitude, your belief, or your personal development? Where does it all come from? Well, Jim Rohn will tell you, you have to be before you are. So this is like a cycle. It's like a circle, and it's all in there. But we do often, I would say, we start off with the belief. Many of us went through a personal development program before we came anywhere near Clean Easy, and probably didn't know we were going through a personal development program. But I remember masses of that stuff from my time in the bank. Now, I've been away from the bank for that number of years. That's a wee while, and it really has. So I but did I know that it was called personal development? No, I have to be honest, I didn't. But we did believe in Clean Easy when we joined. We definitely did, because we heard stories, so we believed. We saw people standing in front of us who told the story, not just we read about it, because you don't always believe what you read. Well, I hope not. But we saw someone standing there, and there was enough in that story that we felt there was credibility. And plus, we asked them questions afterwards, just to make sure that they could back that story up. So maybe when you joined, it was a case of, well, if they can do that, my goodness, so can I. Look at them. Flip. So therefore I can do it. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way. Some people will say, well, it doesn't cost very much, so we can give it a try. To be fair, I'd rather probably that someone said, well, my goodness, they've got 2 brain cells going in a different direction. If they can make it work, so can I. Then maybe think, well, it's only 25 quid. But an attitude very much can be positive or negative. The important thing is to recognise what choice you've made. And it's only at that moment. Because that's a great thing. You can change your attitude in the blink of an eye as well, which really is a great thing. Not if you're in a very good attitude and you end up in having a very bad attitude, but the other way around. So the other thing is you can choose to make that change. It's down to you. So you've got total control over it, total. The first thing is to recognise the choice and then take the action to ensure that it changes. How do you do it? Well, by reading. I mean, I like murder and mystery stories and things like that. But sometimes the only problem is you tend to walk down a street looking at it as though it's a page out of a book. So you're expecting somebody to be murdered, you know, in some alley close by. So if you're reading your personal development books, surely that's going to have exactly the same effect, but maybe not as obviously to you as that scenario is with the murder. The other thing is, of course, many of us are quite happy in their comfort zone. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that either, but do be aware that if you haven't got what you're wanting and you aren't where you want to be, you are going to have to change. You don't get to be the biggest house in the block by knocking the other ones down. That's not the easy way of doing it. Apparently we're only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And I suppose if you think of a baby, as soon as when you're clutching that baby, it can be quite tense, thinking, well, are they going to hold on to me? And in my case, quite often, you know, that's a good thought to have with that poor wee child, you know, because often you maybe don't clutch it as strongly and as securely as you can. And loud noises, well, you see a kiddie, it startles, it jumps as soon as it hears a noise. So how do those fears that we all have grow? Well, by the programming that's around us, by someone saying, do you think you can do that? I remember saying to my son, many years before I looked at Clean Easy, when I asked him, he said he had been waiting and some information coming about something he had responded to, and he had come up to the house one night, and I said to him, I says, did that come? He says, it came. I says, what was it? He says, oh, Clean Easy. I says, well, it's that catalogues. Are you wanting to do catalogues? Now, I never heard Ian mention that again. How sad. How sad for me, you know, and how dreadful. But that's negative programming. His mother, who thankfully he loved, said to him, is that catalogues? Do you want to do catalogues? Because the answer is Ian was into network marketing, very into it, and became involved in other in other companies that maybe didn't have the success that Clean Easy had, but he did very well at it at the time. So those around us, as one used to say, sometimes you're sleeping with the most negative person who influences you. Don't be that person. You know, even if your partner is not doing Clean Easy with you, or if you have people in your team who are not doing Clean Easy with their partners, the only thing I would say to you is say to the partner, the best support you can give is to say nothing detrimental about the company. And maybe you don't want to say it in those words, those are mine. And I maybe wouldn't couch it in those terms either if I was speaking to someone. But, you know, it's a piece of very good advice that maybe the best idea is to coach the person who isn't Clean Easy to tell their own partner that, rather than you have to do it. But past experience, negative and positive, form our beliefs. That's how we get to where they are. I know that I often say how grateful I am to my dad for the values that he gave me in my life. So And my dad, I don't think, was a particularly positive to a point person, but there again, if you're born in 1904, positivity came in different ways. So, you know, but do be aware that whatever you believe to be true will be true. Whether it is or not, it will be true. Because your thoughts affect your attitude and your belief. And your thoughts are very, very powerful. Your subconscious is more powerful than your conscious. If what you say is different from the voice in your subconscious and it's repeating itself in your head, it's the voice in your head that's going to be right. So do be aware of that as well. Be aware of all of those things. Now, I'm not clever knowing that. I just look up the internet and read the books and find those comments out. That's the only difference. But your thoughts are projected onto the way you dress, you walk, and the way that other people react to you and around you. It's when you see someone walking down the street, I like people watching. I love it, and quite often we'll sit quite happily and watch. Preferably on my own, because then you can pretend to be reading or something like that. And you can see mostly how someone is by the way that they're going down a street, the way they come into a shop or whatever. And you can be a radiator or a drain. I don't mean that you have to bounce down a street or into a shop. You don't have to do that, because I've seen people in Clean Easy do that. And I remember both Jim and I looking at one another and thinking, gosh, if we've got to be like that to build a business, I'd be as well going now, because there's no way it's going to happen. So you can be a radiator or a drain without being anything other than yourself. So here's some of the things that will help us on our way. Do you have a clear picture of where you want to go? Do you have a clear picture of the person that you want to be? And the amount of money that you want to earn? And one question I should maybe have put in there as well. Do you have a clear picture of when you want to earn that money? And what you want to earn that money for? Because that's really important. Now, it may be to pay your bills. To me, that's a very good reason. Get your bills paid, and then, you know, life becomes so much simpler and easier. But knowing the answer to the questions will focus your mind on what you need to do to get to where you want to be. And it also makes it much easier. I always remember saying at training, knowing why I'm doing something is what makes me put my coat on after I've done a full day's work and go back into the car, go out into the pouring rain, being hit by hailstones, knocking a door when someone doesn't want to answer because they're probably in the bath by that time or in the shower, or eating their dinner, which is where I want to be, but it's knowing why I'm doing it that makes me do it, even when I don't want to do it. And no one's alone in not wanting to do something. The difference between the person who builds a business and the person who doesn't build a business is the ones that will keep doing the things that they do not want to do when other people stop doing the things that they don't want, or stop doing the things that they just don't want to do. So knowing the answers to the questions will focus your mind on what you need to do to get to where you want to be. I remember our daughter asking us, what on earth are you doing out collecting catalogues in the pouring rain? You've not had your dinner, you've worked all day, Dad's still at work for 50 quid a week. My answer to my daughter was, because we want £2,000 a month, Wendy, so your dad doesn't have to be working at this time of night. It shut her up then and it shuts her up now. And I still use that answer. Because what I say to Wendy is, not that she gives me grief, I have to say, but if she says to me, why are you doing that, Mum? I'll say to her, because Wendy, I don't want to sit in a house, a very nice house. I don't want to sit in a house when I can still get out and about, but not have the money to go and do what I want to do. She's not going to fund it for me. An old age pension certainly won't fund it. So, you know, you really have to know and have an awful strong know why you're doing something. But knowing that you're doing all you can to get you to that point will motivate you to continue with the actions. Because you see, other people can only motivate you once they're in front of you. If you're feeling miserable and down, you won't want that person in front of you. So the best advice I can do is learn what motivates you and keeps you motivated. All those daily tasks, jobs, actions, they're all very simple, they're all very easy to do, but they are also very easy not to do. So you do have to remember, when you're sitting down with a cup of coffee in your book and thinking, oh, I'll just read another chapter. No, you've got 60 posts to do. Go and do it, Jane. Talk to yourself. Learn to talk to yourself. Learn. So how do we grow? Personally, how do we change? Do we have to change? Well, as I mentioned earlier, if you're not where you want to be, then yes, you have to change. But more importantly, do you want to change? You've got to want to. If you don't want to, you won't do it. Here's some of the books that we recommend, because reading them, remember the murder story? John Sandford. I do enjoy John Sandford. Some of the ones I don't like. John Sandford doesn't do personal development, but he does write quite a good mystery story. Never mind, those are great books. I like The Greatest Networker in the World. Yes, they were written years ago, but a lot of the new books are rehashes of the old books. And you know something else, coming down to money? You'll get the old ones cheaper often than you will the new ones on Amazon, because the new ones are constantly in demand, but the old ones, whilst they're still excellent books, really, really good, you'll get them because they've kind of gone out of fashion a wee bit. Why these books? Well, why not, I suppose, but the reason we chose those is because each of those books has a different area that you want to develop. In addition to that, though, can I say that read anything by Jim Rohn, listen to anything by Jim Rohn. I love Zig Ziglar. The Texan accent is difficult at first, but he has such a wonderful way with a story. He's excellent. You rarely hear people mention Zig Ziglar. He's a great writer. He's super. But each of the writers have their own style, as they always do, even with, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of book it is. They've all got their own style, and you'll find the one that's best for you. But study them. Don't just read them and put them down and think, okay, I've read that one. Often I've read some of those books so often that I actually know what the next page is going to say before I turn it over. But I also remember when I was reading 45-second presentation, that I remember turning pages of that, because that I found quite a difficult read. The first 3-4 chapters I found quite simple. But after that, at the time, I was fairly new to network marketing and didn't understand a great deal of it. So I found him quite challenging at first. So what I did was when I went back and read it, there was information in there that I couldn't remember reading the first time round. So either I had moved on and understood it, or else instead of skimming it, I actually read it. So again, just the same as I was talking about this murdery mystery book, the books will shape your thoughts, and you need to keep your thoughts positive, because what goes in comes out. And really, you want your words to be positive. Because remember, we're talking about Clean Easy, we're talking about you talking to your team, we're talking about you talking to your upline, because sometimes they like to see and hear a wee positive person instead of getting all of the moans and the groans. And I think we're fairly fortunate. I know I feel very fortunate because I don't get a lot of moans and groans. Well, I do sometimes, but they're fairly easy to deflect. So, you know, that we can work our way through them. I really feel that our team is fairly positive. They must be reading. Your words become your actions. If you're talking positively, then you will become, you will do. So therefore, keep them positive too, because then it becomes a habit. 21 days of doing a particular action, it becomes a habit. That habit becomes your lifestyle. Make a commitment to yourself. Maybe you have to make it to somebody else at the beginning. And maybe you need to get somebody else to say to you, have you read any of that book today? Where are you? What page are you on? What's the last word? What did it say in the page before? Maybe at first that's what you need to do. And that's okay if that's what you need to do. Because remember, 21 days to become a habit. The selection of books is just a start. But you've got to start somewhere before you can make a change. But enjoy the books. The books are really interesting. See if you never do Clean Easy. See if you bring somebody into your group and all they do is read books. What a gift you have given that person. What a big, big gift. Because they might never have come across it unless they came across you. But remember the power of association as well. Be the person that people seek out and want to sit beside, stand beside, talk to, rather than the person who always has to go and talk to someone else. And I just wanted to bring the books up again so that you could have a look at it. I love Dare to Dream and What to Win. It's a super book. Stephen Covey, I enjoy. Darren Hardy, excellent. So those were all things, those were all books that we had read and read again and enjoyed. So here's a wee story for you. I like this story. Once upon a, and I'm going to paraphrase it and you can look up the story. There was a father who felt that his daughter was miserable. And he didn't know how she was going to make it through her life. She seemed to be always struggling. Maybe she was, looking for the problems, but she was always struggling. So her father was a chef, and he took her into the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water. In 1 pot he put potatoes, in 1 pot he put eggs, and in 1 pot he put coffee beans. So he sat down and sat beside his daughter whilst the pots were boiling. He actually had to leave them about 20 minutes because otherwise It wouldn't have worked. So then he put the potatoes into a bowl, the eggs into a bowl, and he also put the coffee into a cup. So then he asked her, what did she see? And what did she think? So she had a wee look at it. She touched the potatoes and the potatoes were soft. That's what they do when they've been in the water, 20 minutes. She touched the egg and the egg was hard. She broke the shell, the inside of the egg was hard. And then she had a look at the coffee. The coffee, she could drink, she could smell it, she could taste it. But what happened there was the potato went in really, really strong. It was hard. It became soft. It changed itself in the water. The egg was very, very fragile. You put it into boiling water for long enough, it was brick hard. But what about the coffee beans? Because after they were exposed to the boiling water, they changed the water. They didn't change themselves. They changed the water. They created something new. So, which are you, he asked his daughter. When adversity knocks on the door, how do you respond? Are you a potato? Are you an egg? Or are you a coffee bean? Life happens. Life happens to everyone. Sometimes it happens a wee bit harder, or sometimes, like David today, it gives you a real boost. But life does happen. But the only thing that really matters is what happens to you. Read the books, take the action on the books, realise and find out what motivates you, know enough about your team so you can show them how to motivate themselves, and enjoy your clean, easy journey, because that's what it is. And that's me all done. There we go. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, Jane. Brilliant.